Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, here we go. Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
Live from Joe's mom's basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and today you'll learn the 5 things you need to know before you retire with author and host of the Retire Sooner podcast, Wes Moss. Plus, you'll also learn from the woman who wants to help you retire in your dream home. It's the co-host of Stacking Deeds, Crystal Hammond. And finally, the guy who invented the Roomba. Wait a minute. This guy totally sweeps the dirt floor of his bunker all by himself like he's some kind of pioneer. It's just Len Penzo. But that's not all. Halfway through the show, I'll share my do-it-yourself trivia question. And now a guy who's doing all he can to bring you the best personal finance advice in the world. It's Joe Saul-Sehy.
Wow, that's a high bar today, Doug. That is
in the world.
In the world. You know, we might as well just say universe. If we're going to say the world, let's say the universe.
That wasn't even in the script, Joe. I just added that all by myself. That's how confident I feel.
Well, you know what? It's because we have a lot of help today, Doug. That's exactly why. Welcome, everybody, to Friday. I am Joe Saul-Sehy. Ever Show Money on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, on the social media places. And we've got a great team and a great topic. And frankly, 3 different points of view. Let's start off with the gentleman who is in his bunker deep under Los Angeles, a guy who's experiencing retirement right now and is in the middle kind of that transition period himself. So we're going to hear a lot about that today. Len Penzo's here. How are you, man?
Well, Joe, I have to say, I'm quite depressed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I came to the realization that I am really old. I'm really old. You want to know how I came to that conclusion?
Yeah.
Well, last weekend I went to an antique auction, and 3 people actually placed a bid on me.
You got to move once in a while, Len. You can't just look like a piece of furniture.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm depressed.
God, that took forever.
Yeah.
Well, the thoughts don't come as quickly when you're his age, Joe.
Man. And I got to pivot away from that. And the woman who's my co-host over on the Stacking Deeds Show, Crystal Hammond's here. Crystal, please don't do that. Please don't follow that.
No, I mean, I would have bid on you too.
Thanks, Crystal.
You're looking mighty ancient today. Just kidding. You know, I think about retirement all the time. Some days at work, you're like, how many days do I have left? Because I'm over it today. So.
Well, that's what I like about you being here, Crystal, is that you are dreaming about retirement and
daily.
in getting retirement together and multiple streams of income and not there yet and just working on it.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. Just like this cookie dough, cake batter lotion. You guys have to try this.
Why do I want to smell like cake batter? I
Why
still have
wouldn't
no
you?
idea.
Why wouldn't you?
I walk around all day going, man, I'm hungry. I just don't want to be that hungry. No. And the guy who's always hungry for more talk about retirement, a guy we quote an awful lot. Doug, how often do I quote this guy when I talk about what the happiest retirees know, his book? I feel like it's It's all the time.
13 bajillion times.
Yes. Wes Moss is here with us. How are you,
Probably
man?
Probably once. Wait a minute. Have you ever talked about my book when I'm not there?
We talked about it with you here, yes.
Tell me you don't listen to the show without telling me you don't listen to the show, Wes.
You guys are my favorite podcast. Joe's my favorite host. Sorry.
Nice job. Good recovery,
And Len's my
Wes. A
favorite
little
columnist.
late.
And I think I told you last time we were on the roundtable, but I remember when I first saw you on this thinking, whoa, I've been reading this Len Penzo for a decade before blogging was even a thing. And when you started blogging like 25 years ago, before the internet.
Yeah, I started on Papyrus.
Wes, say Len's Ancient without saying Len's Ancient.
Love you guys.
What?
Tell the three people that don't know about the Retire Sooner podcast about all the fun stuff you do, man. You're on fire.
Retiring Sooner. I wrote a book. It's over 10 years now called You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. And then that's really opened up that conversation for what I talk about on the Retire Sooner podcast. And then I talk a whole lot about the money and habits of happy retirees, which I think this is such a cool topic we're talking about here today. And then in real life, just today, I had an awesome call with, I think is a quintessential real life situation where you've got a consultant, one of the big consulting firms, they work those people just into the ground. 30 years in, still super young, pre-55, just ready to go. Just, I'm done. And we were doing some planning around that today. And that's hard, even if you're a super high income person, to be able to do that. So I'm trying to triangulate all those things into the real world.
So incredible. And I love following along from afar. Glad you're here. We got 4 flexes today, Doug. We've got Wes Moss here. That's a flex. We got Crystal Hammond here.
Boom.
We've got Len Penzo here.
Boom. I give you boom.
And the 4th flex is starting today. Our roundtables are presented by State Farm.
That is a cool flex.
Wow.
That is cool.
Yeah.
We're going to meet Jake. Are we going to meet Jake?
Well, let me tell you about State Farm. State Farm agents are small business owners too, so they know how to help you choose personalized policies that fit your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Talk to your local agent today. And not only are we sponsored by them, we also today, get this, are sponsored by... In business, there is no room for guesswork. Every shipment matters. Every deadline counts. And when you're trying to keep operations running smoothly, the last thing you need is uncertainty. That's why reliability is at the core of USPS Ground Advantage. From the moment your package is first scanned in, it moves through a secure nationwide network, aiding in a timely and accurate delivery. You get near real-time tracking so you can keep up with your shipments. And with affordable upfront pricing, there are no hidden fees or surprise surcharges to throw off your cost sheets. It all adds up to predictable deliveries you can depend on, because knowing your logistics are handled lets you focus on everything else, your customers, your team, and the future you're building. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to start shipping with confidence. USPS Ground Advantage. We mean business.
Oh, wow. That's great news.
Oh, no. We're not done. Check this out. Dell PCs with Intel Inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. They're for those all-night study sessions, the moment you're working from a cafe and realize every outlet's taken, the times you're deep in your flow and can't be interrupted by an auto update. That's why Dell builds tech that adapts to you. Built with long-lasting batteries so you're not scrambling for an outlet, and built-in intelligence that makes updates around your schedule, not in the middle of it. Find technology built for the way you work at Dell.com/Dell PCs. Built for you. Now, isn't that amazing, Crystal Hammond?
Oh, man, that was wonderful.
Yes, but the wonderfulness is just beginning, because Wes, Len, and Crystal are here with Doug and I. We're going to talk about the 5 things you need to know before you retire. This piece is on the Retirement Manifesto blog. Our friend Fritz over at Retirement Manifesto wrote this piece. Fritz has been on the show a couple times, and this piece is interesting. It says, if you're not retired, it's impossible to know what it's really like to be retired. Len, you are now just really, a year into it.
Yes.
Is that true? If you're not retired, it's impossible to know what it's really like to be retired?
I think the younger you are, I think that's absolutely true. I think as you get older, maybe not. If you put some thought into it and planned, I think you can prepare yourself for it. But, if anybody's been on a long vacation, maybe a 3 or 4 week vacation, that does give you kind of a flavor of what retirement is like. So it's just a series. So in essence, I've been basically 12-month-long vacations right now is what I've experienced in retirement. So I kind of had a pretty good flavor for how it is.
We're going to talk about that, Len, because I kind of disagree, but I'm going to save my disagreement for later. I think it is a little different. Wes, he then immediately, and by the way, Stackers, you don't need to read this piece, but if you want to, head to our show notes page at Stacky Benjamins and follow along. But we're just going to walk you through these 5 things. He next, Wes, says, focusing on money is necessary, but insufficient ahead of time. And I think for a lot of our stackers, like, wait a minute, whoa, I got to talk about the money piece. Do you agree with Fritz here? Focusing on money is not the end-all be-all?
Yeah, Fritzy is saying that we spend 90% of the time thinking about and preparing for the money side and only 10% on the financial side or the lifestyle side. First of all, he's preaching to the choir with me because I think it's a 50-50 relationship. He says you should spend 90% of your time planning for the non-money side. I think that's way too low, but I totally get where he's coming from. In my opinion, it's always been it should be a 1-to-1 balance between the money side and the lifestyle side. So he's on to something. It's a little extreme what Fritzy's saying, but I think it's cool.
Maybe he's going for shock value here then, Wes.
Yeah,
maybe he's just trying to shock the system because it's totally contrary to what anybody thinks. I mean, Crystal, beyond saving for, maybe setting the retirement goal, setting the number, figuring out how much you need to save, that kind of thing. Have you thought about what things you're going to do when you reach retirement?
I mean, isn't it just sailing on yachts and going from beach to beach? That's what I picture. Because I focus 90% is on the money. Like I just had a retirement seminar where you get to do all the calculators and all the things where, okay, Social Security is here, the pension is here, your 401k provides this, your Roth provides that. So I'm like, okay, I'm set. I'm ready to spend it all on a yacht, on the beach, around the world, daily. Put me on repeat.
Crystal, that gets into his first one, which of the 5 things you need to know, number 1 on his list is freedom is great, but it comes with an obligation. He says it's freedom from the alarm clock, the commute, the boss, those dreadful Zoom calls, from even those more dreadful annual performance reviews. He goes, it's wonderful, but it's a little more than that yacht every day. He says, think back to your childhood years. And I guess, Len, this is where I disagree with you too. When you say it's like a 3-week vacation, he says, think back to your childhood years when you had the thrill of freedom on your last day of school. The whole summer off, freedom. If you're like me, however, and this was totally me in school, by the middle of July, you were getting bored. I think the studies show, if I remember, Wes, Ken Dykewald, who does a lot of longevity and retirement studies, said you got like 18 months of euphoria, and then there's this kind of deep, is this it? Because I don't think it is summer vacation or just the yacht.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to think about it. And we all remember those summers. You're so excited to get out of school. And then a week in or 2 weeks in or 3 weeks in, particularly when we were kids and they didn't have television, you're like, what am I supposed to do? And there's no video games.
Wait.
Well, maybe when Len was a kid, they didn't have
television?
Video games. And I grew up on
we had Pong. We had Pong.
Yeah, we had like the Commodore 64. I think that is part of it. But it really just depends on how much you transition into it. And I was thinking about what you're saying, that it's almost a shock value. I almost feel like somebody has needed to say it in the way Fritz is saying it to command the attention that it needs, because it seems like the frivolous side. Oh, well, you've got to spend your time thinking about the money side, or else you go into retirement and you have a lifelong of financial insecurity. So it's terrible. So the way he's saying you've got to be focusing on what that transition is going to look like, what the time is going to really, how are you really going to spend it? I like that he is that extreme about it.
I want to go then, Len, to you and the vacation. So, I mean, clearly there is a vacation aspect, and studies show people spend more time planning a long vacation than they do planning retirement, which I think is kind of horrible. But where's the correlation? And do you think there is maybe more to it? And you can't just, like, people used to tell me, I'm going to golf every day. Oh, I'll golf every day. I'm like, really? Have you ever tried to golf every day? And I've had people go, no, but I'll try.
Yeah, I think you kind of misunderstood me. When I said it was a period of 12 4-week vacations for me anyways, it's what I was saying was basically, hey, you don't have to get up to the alarm clock. You've got the freedom for that week, for those 4 weeks, to do whatever you want, go wherever you want. Obviously, if you're just going to plan on playing golf every day of your life for the remaining retirement, that's not good. In my case, I thought this out well ahead of time what I was going to do, and I have so much stuff on my plate. I mean, there's not enough time, even in retirement for me today, to do everything I want to do. I have my blog, which basically it's a side business. I've been working other side business ventures, none of them very successful at the moment, but I've been working hard on those. I have, as you know, my model railroad as a hobby. I've got that. I've got going out and golfing or entertainment, going out with friends. I mean, there is so much to do. I never, and I've told the honeybee this, there's never a day I wake up and I just go, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I've got so, and I have this podcast here too, the roundtable. I've got so much on my plate. Really, I've got a rich life. But before I retired, I made sure that I had all my ducks lined up, that I would have that rich life before I retired.
The non-financial ducks.
The non-financial ducks, correct.
Don't you mean you have the squirrels lined up, Len? Because I know you spend a lot of time focused on those squirrels
Squirrel
in your
watching.
backyard.
Yes, the squirrel. I wonder if there's a way I can give you some great squirrel cam footage. One of these days I'll have to maybe share it with you guys.
I bet it's worth
Would you?
Please.
Once again, Len, say you're old without saying you're old. Please. The thing, Wes, that I quote all the time that Len is referring to is in your book, you talk about how the average retiree has, and you call them hobbies, has 6 hobbies before they retire. But I think it's more than hobby, Wes, don't you? I think hobby's kind of a little bit too light a term.
Well, so it's been a little while since you read the book, but let me go back and quantify that. It's hobbies on steroids.
Ooh. Oh, that's
not
like
hobbies.
That better.
It's not hobbies.
Yes.
So I think of them as core pursuits. And actually, as we're sitting here, I'm updating my list of core pursuits. I've got them on my iPhone, and
track squirrels.
That is not one of them. Thinking about it,
wear cake batter lotion,
reviewing squirrel footage. So think about this. The average happy retiree has 3.6, call it 3 to 4 core pursuits. Those are not just hobbies. They are hobbies on steroids, or things you live for, the things that you can progress in, things you want to continue to get better in, and things that you really have a deep love for. Unhappy retirees, by the way, average 1.9, so 2 versus 4. Big difference between the two. And they can change and they can evolve over time, but they are critical to the structure of the day that you will have to have while you're in this, call it a productive vacation. I'm in the camp of liking productive vacations. I know that there's this thought of just hanging out on the beach. Maybe it's just because I've had kids for so long. I've got 4 kids, and it's been so long that that's even been a reality. I actually love that balance of always having some work and some fun all the time. So that's kind of how I've prepared for it. But I've got 17 things on my list of core pursuits.
Well, I think, Crystal, that's you. I mean, for you, I think retiring from your corporate 9-to-5 job. I mean, I think about you sewing. I think about Zumba. I think about your real estate. Sometimes I think, Crystal, you could probably retire tomorrow and you'd be like Len with the plate completely full.
Well, and that, even backing up, that was one thing I used to say when I first started the job. I was like, when it's retirement age, my job's going to be so easy. I'm not going to want to feel like retiring, just because it'll be second nature and natural to me. So maybe I will, maybe I won't, from the 9 to 5, but I love that Wes said productive vacations, because when I go on vacations, I love to, do cooking classes, the tours, just the learning part is one of the things that I love about it. And I couldn't see myself sitting at home all day. It just is totally not in my nature. So all of my side hustles will become most likely, the full-time gigs again, but it'll be, more fulfilling.
The number 2, which brings me, Crystal, to number 2 on this list, your transition to retirement will be harder than you think. We already talked about a lot of these speed bumps, but Fritz says, Barbara retired 6 months before me, and I'll never forget a comment she made a few months later. Wow, she said, the transition to retirement so much harder than I thought. I wish somebody had told me how hard it would be. He did a poll with people in his community. 50% of pre-retirees expect their transition to retirement to be smooth. When folks were asked when they retired, only 32% said it actually was smooth, meaning 68% of retirees had a rough transition. And I got to feel like, Crystal, if you've seen people ahead of you that have had really a struggle into retirement.
Oh, yeah. Not to be funny, but this is funny to me. Going back to the whole summer vacations talk, sometimes because my mom's retired and she'll call, she's like, well, I'm just here. I'm bored. And I'll never forget when I was young, I used to say that. I'd be like, hey, are you bored or are you boring? Oh. And then that would change the tune because I'm like, well, get outside. This is your moment to shine, to do whatever you've ever wanted to do. Learn whatever you wanted to do. So don't tell me you're bored. Get out there and find something to do. But that is one of the things that I'm seeing. A lot of people they're like, oh man, I'm bored. And even my grandma, after she retired, she got sick. And so, how are you, enjoying all that hard work? And then, oh man, since your purpose isn't there as much, you're sick. And then I've been watching all these documentaries, that Blue Zone one, and they're saying, they live older because they don't stop. Every day there's a new purpose, there's a new thing. I actually now in my neighborhood volunteer with a bunch of retirees, and we have a blast in the thrift shop. It's a lot of talk, gossip, drama, all that, and they're there for it. They have all the time, but they happily volunteer. Like, we have to fight for shifts sometimes because they're like, hey, I'm here to help. I'm not going to sit at home all day. So I like that. I see perspectives from, oh man, I'm so bored, and hey, let's go out. Because even my next shift, someone was like, hey, I see we're working. Do you want to get drinks before or after our shift? And I'm like,
you want to get loaded before our shift?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe we should go for drinks before the shift.
might not go that well.
I was going to say after, but let's go before. I like that idea. But yeah, they're ready to hang out. They plan all the parties. They do all the cooking. Like, I feel like, a teenager again or in college. You know how you come home from college and you don't have to lift a finger?
Like, get some retired friends is what you're telling me.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Len, you got to see people around you that haven't had the successful transition that you've had.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, actually. And where I worked, a lot of people who are retiring, you ask them, oh, well, what do you got planned? What are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to do a little traveling. I'm going to play golf or tennis or whatever. And I go, anything, okay. It's like, how long can you travel? How much golf can you play? How much tennis can you play? And a few of those people have come back, and we've had, before I retired, we'd have lunches. We'd have group lunches, and some of the retirees would come and join us, and they were completely bored, and they were just like, oh, it's like, I can't, it's the same old thing every day. It's like, I got to figure out what to do. Maybe I'll take up a language, or maybe I'll do this. It's like, dude, you should have thought of this. You should have thought of this before you retired. You should have had this all laid out. A lot of them wanted to come back to work, but they couldn't, because in my profession at the time, the economy was, at least in my niche, they weren't hiring anymore. So they were kind of, they were good. And these people had left and they couldn't come back in, and they were really in a pickle trying to keep themselves busy. So they really had to work hard to figure out what to do. So, I mean, when you retire, you really should have, like Wes said, at least 4 full-time gigs of something that would take your time and will take a long time to ever satisfy yourself. I just want to bring up, I'm doing this one side business venture. I've told you it's a total failure. But I've worked hard on it. My first 6 months after I retired, I was working really hard on it. And I was putting in 40 to 60 hours a week just on that. And so far, it has not borne any fruit, and I'm about ready to abandon it. But I have something else in mind. I'm going on my second attempt. And I'm having fun. It doesn't matter. It was very stimulating to me. I learned a lot. And I will take those lessons that I learned from this past failure, and I will apply it to the next idea I have. But I anticipate this next business venture, I'm probably going to spend 60 to 80 hours a week getting that up and going, probably for 6 months to a year. So, like I said, you got to really think about it, and you got to have that drive to improve yourself, or you have to have an internal drive. If you don't have an internal drive or curiosity, I think you're going to struggle. I think you really are. Maybe you should stay employed. I don't know.
We're going to get to that one in the second half of today's show, because what you're alluding to, Len, Fritz actually brings up very strongly with his fourth point. But before that, our third point here, Wes is, as the money guy on the show, he says money won't matter as much after you retire. Have you found that to be true?
So I think that was such a cool, I never have thought to ask that. It's funny. So what he says here is that everyone he talked to, and he said it seemed like they were more in their 80s, but he said any of these retirees he talked to, none of them were worried about money. None of them, which is kind of a fascinating thought. And his point was they're not worried about it because it already is what it is. They're not going to change their financial situation. They're 81 and they know how much money they have. They know how much income it produces. They know what their Social Security and their pension is, and that's it. And then you adjust to that. It's kind of an interesting way to look at it. And I had not ever really thought of it that way because I am in the financial business. I'm in the planning business as well. And people are always checking in and always a little bit anxious about what's happening in the world and markets. So I have not ever seen anyone that's fully just never worried whatsoever. But I see his point that you're not going to change it when you're 81. You already know what your income is going to be.
I do remember, I get coaching from Strategic Coach, and when I went to these coaching sessions, we started talking about like, what do you want to be when you're 85, when you're 90, and really kind of pushing some of these ideals of who we want to be in our later years earlier, and focus on your ability to go after some of those big pursuits that you imagine yourself. We went through this series of imagining what we were, but one of those was, I want to be 90 and not think about money. Mm-hmm. This thing Fritz talks about clearly made my list. Like, I just want to be able to do whatever I do, and I just don't want to care about it. Doesn't mean that I have all the money in the world. I just don't want it to be on my mind all the time. Mm-hmm. I want other stuff on my mind. I want to think about my community, my spouse, my kids, my adventure, being healthy, being fit. I don't want to dream about money.
Joe, the other thing that I guess the tactical side of that is that I think when you're doing financial planning and let's say you understand the 4% rule, and that's pretty simple, 4% of your assets plus inflation every year, and you know what your Social Security is.
Wait, didn't Dave Ramsey amend that?
He amended it to 14% a year.
I think Wes is the 27% rule now.
Yeah, I know. I did. I'm sure we all did a scathing podcaster. Everyone did a scathing podcast around that.
Maybe.
What? But if you think about that, and then you think about how you're invested. Now there's unlimited variability of how you do that. But if you do that in this, let's call it to some extent an income investing way, where at least you have some level of cash flow, then you're right. And Fritz is right. There really is not. There's not a lot of variability once you are following a couple tried and true principles, and your anxiety around, well, is the money going to run out? That should run down to relative, not maybe never zero because we're human, but it should run close to zero at a certain point.
It just makes me feel like if you do a lot of that number work up front too,
mm-hmm.
then it takes care of itself. Get the numbers, face reality early on, whether it's good or bad, face it quickly. We see all kinds of people come back from, age 50, not having saved a lot, to 65, putting together a decent retirement. I think about our friend Becky Heptig, who did that, like get that stuff in order too. We're going to talk about numbers 4 and 5, which are huge on this list, after our break. But at the midway part of every show, we have this amazing year-long competition. Len Penzo, don't let me forget. I keep forgetting to give you the Milk Bar gift certificate as our winner from last year.
I've been laying awake at night just fuming that I haven't got that.
I'm so sorry.
When am I going to get that?
I will say that publicly. And our stacker, Eric, was so nice to donate it, and I still have not handed it over. Now, that could mean that I've used it, but it was delicious. I accepted on your behalf, Len.
Okay.
It was great. No, I did not accept on your behalf. I do got to send that to you. So please, before we get done, make sure you remind me. But we have a year-long competition between Len, Paula Pant, and OG. And if you've listened to the show before, you know that OG and Paula, those are two people that aren't here. So Crystal, we'll just keep this gender the same. So Crystal, why don't you play on behalf of Paula? Wes, you'll play on behalf of OG. And the score, OG has 1, Len has 1, Paula has 0. So Paula already assuming her annual spot in third place, which means, Crystal, you get to go last. Len, you're the current champion, so you're going to guess first. Wes, you're guessing in the middle, but we need a trivia question. Doug, what's on tap today, man?
Hey there, stackers. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. Lately, I've been getting into those tiny houses people have been building out of shipping containers. No, I mean, I'm not actually getting into them. I'm just interested in them. I'm not breaking into people's homes.
Ambiguity.
Some of them are really cool. I saw one this morning. It's 2 stories, or I guess in this case, it's 2 containers. The owner built it himself on a big piece of property. And he's renting them out to travelers, which got me thinking I should buy some land and convert it into an entire neighborhood of houses built out of shipping containers. I could make a fortune off tourists coming to Texarkana. Although building homes out of shipping containers is a new trend, people have always looked for inventive ways to build homes cheaply. In the early 20th century, Sears Roebuck, which later kicked Roebuck to the curb and just became Sears, sold home kits that included all the supplies to build your own home except electrical, plumbing, and heating. Imagine buying a house from the same place you'd buy a dollhouse. I could probably skip the middleman, buy a dollhouse kit, scale it up, build an entire neighborhood out of those. I can put them on a separate empty lot to sell. Probably best to do the shipping container neighborhood first, though, so I can use the revenue from that to build the other one. I can't believe some big real estate investor hasn't thought of this already. I guess I got to come up with all the best ideas myself, as usual. Here's today's trivia question. One of the home kits Sears sold, the Argyle, was 1,008 square feet with 2 bedrooms, a fireplace, 1 bathroom, and a porch. It first hit the market in 1915. What was the starting price of that package? I'll be back right after I place a bid on some vacant land.
Based, Doug, on your budget, I'm just imagining the postage stamp nature of that land. But it's Texarkana, so you could probably buy a lot of land. We're good. Mr. Penzo, you're up first. Pretend it's 1915. You're searching for your new home in the Sears Roebuck catalog.
Is that, you just want the kit, right? That's not the price to build it or anything, right? It's like you just buy the kit, and they throw everything.
Is the kit.
Okay.
The kit.
Right.
And by the way, have you guys seen these houses?
Yeah, I was going to say, we know somebody that either bought one or...
These houses are beautiful. Like, these houses are amazingly beautiful.
You mean the house that was sold, whatever the one Doug's talking about, the 1915 one? Really?
Yeah.
The Argyle. Well, they had a whole range of house models you could get. And I think what Joe's saying is they all were really good-looking houses. They had great little details to them. They weren't just this basic, 4 walls and a
Just
peak.
splendid.
Well, let's
Delightful.
see. How many bedrooms? 2?
Gorgeous.
2 bed? Did it say 2 bedrooms?
2 bedrooms, a fireplace, a bathroom, a porch, 1,008 square feet. Did not include plumbing, electrical, or what's the third one, Doug?
Heating.
I'm going to say $950.
Oh.
950 for all the pieces. 1915. 950 bucks. Wes, what do you think about that? He high or low?
I think he's low. I think he's dreadfully low. What are the rules here on the over-under? Do you win?
Yeah, there's
closest.
we're not doing the Price is Right, just closest, yeah.
But it's so low that it's messing up my thoughts.
That's part of the strategy. That's part of the strategy.
That was an
Wes.
extreme.
And I have the advantage.
Yeah, you do. You do, Crystal. So I'm going to go with my original gut at $6.50 a square foot. So I'm going to say $65.52. Actually, I'm going to say $65.99 is the price in the catalog.
6,599 simoleons from Mr. Moss. Ms. Hammond?
6,000 and 1,000. I'm going to have to go with... But I'm thinking it was like 1,500, but to...
Why do you think it's 1,500?
I don't know.
That was just your initial gut feeling.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say 2,000.
2,000. You split the uprights, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit
to the right, but yes.
Ooh.
All right. We've got Len at 950, Wes at $65.99 and Crystal at $2,000 square. Who's right? We'll let you know in a minute.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Len, you kicked us off with $950. Both Wes and Crystal thought that's a pretty low number. What are you thinking now, big guy?
I really don't know. Something tells me that this is a 3-digit number. Otherwise, Doug wouldn't have picked it. So that's why, it's just something that would really knock your socks off. Like, a house for $900, that's what I think. So I'm thinking I'm going to win this.
But Wes, you're taking the modern approach. By square foot, $65.99 seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think Len's going to win this one. I think.
You?
I think I'm heavy. Yeah, I'm heavy on this. I was thinking 4-bedroom, not 2.
I was thinking custom cabinetry.
Yeah, I think I'm heavy.
Steel.
Right.
I didn't realize it was the 1915 version of IKEA. Imagine the instructions that came with this. Crystal, 2,000 down the middle. You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm doing Paula justice. We're getting our first point today, Paula.
Well, let's see if you're right. Crystal sounds pretty confident. Doug, who's winning this one?
Hey there, stackers. I'm shipping container recycler and soon-to-be neighborhood developer, Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. Over the break, I placed a bid on some land here in Texas. You wouldn't believe what they're selling it for. It's 30 acres. We're out in the middle of nowhere, which means I can market the neighborhood as secluded in a private paradise. I can't wait to get this thing started. Let's get you back to today's trivia question. The question was...
It's like bring your own banjo. Sorry.
Yeah. Secluded paradise.
A new BYOB
self-defense
part. Sorry.
Yeah. But here was the question. How much did the Sears home building kit, the Argyle, sell for in 1915? The answer? Sears Roebuck sold an impressive 70,000 home kits between 1908 and 1940. One of the 350 design options, the Argyle, hit the market in 1915 and in today's dollars would have sold for $22,000. But back in 1915, it sold for $5,814 less than what Wes guessed, $1,215 less than what Crystal guessed, just $165 less than what Len guessed because the selling price of the Argyle was $785. And that means Len gets his second point of the season.
What's interesting, though, another piece of that trivia, which is phenomenal that they sold it for that little bit of money. They were so popular over the next, what was it, Doug? Roughly, I think 2 years later, they were selling it for, I believe, almost triple that price.
Yeah.
Because so many people were buying them. And they just started, jacking the price up like you should.
Yeah, 70,000 in sales. That is great.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, not just that one model, but still 70,000 home kits. And there's a lot of them that are still active homes being lived in today.
I'm find that tweet. Somebody tweeted it.
That's cool. That's very cool. That's a good trivia question.
Go look up those houses too, guys. You're going to see it. We'll have a link on the show notes. But if you go look at these, the Argyle especially, just a beautiful house. Unbelievable. Hey, speaking of unbelievable, second half of the show coming up. That's going to be unbelievable. And it's brought to you by depositaccounts.com. Len, you know what happens when you go to depositaccounts.com?
Yeah, they give you a $50,000 sign-up bonus if you if you get in within the next 2 days.
Are you trying to get
Oh, no.
Trouble.
Oh, wait, there's more.
It's weird. All of a sudden, the call from Lending Tree is
It's coming out of Len's account. It's coming out of Len's account
right now. It is so strange how this might be our last deposit accounts by Lending Tree read. Thank you.
You're going to get sued, Len. Someone's going to say they didn't hear you say.
You'll find that you get to compare, Len. You make this phenomenal offer sound horrible. They're like, well, it's not as good as Len's. But you get to compare more than 275,000 deposit rates from over 11,000 banks and credit unions. You do it for free. I'm on the site right now. Listen to this. The national average on a savings account, still only 0.5% today. As we record this, it'll be different by the time this goes out. So just go to depositaccounts.com. It's literally on the top of the front page. If you're in the top 1% of savings accounts, though, 4.97%. That's down slightly. But national average 0.5, top 1%, 4.97. CD rates, a one-year CD, national average 4.02, top 1% average 5.61%. They've got checking, money markets. You can compare, ditch, switch, and save at depositaccounts.com. Go ahead there, people. Let's dive into.
Joe, so if you could take that $50,000 sign up bonus and at 4% interest, I mean that's a lot of money.
God. God.
Stop it. Pause.
It's going to be Len's last appearance on the show as well. Len's like, I got so much going on. I got to get rid of being on the podcast.
Retirement.
He's like, honeybee, I got good news. Remember that podcasting obligation every week? I don't have that anymore. Fritz has 2 more points on his 5 things to know before you retire. And number 4 here, you'll miss certain attributes from your working years. And Len, you alluded to this during the first half, which is why I want to come right back to you. He says when people think about leaving their jobs, they naturally think about the loss of their paycheck. What most people don't think about, though, are the numerous non-financial benefits they receive from their work, like structure to their day, mental challenges, relationships, a sense of reward, purpose, a sense of identity. Like having that structure, Len, I know that for a lot of retirees, when I was a financial planner, that was the hardest part, was like, hey, no alarm clock. And then about 3 months later, they're like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. Like, I'm just wasting time every day. Did you find that when you first got to retirement?
Not for me, but like I said, for some of my coworkers, I've seen that in the past. And it's just these people, they were happy to retire, but they didn't really think out what they had. What came after retirement? All they worried about was that number. They hit their number. They're good to go. This is going to be a great retirement. Money buys your happiness. Whatever I need, I'm good to go. But then they realize, what gives meaning to life is your personal growth and playing golf every day and watching TV and sitting on the couch. That just doesn't do it, man. You are going to get so bored. And especially if you're in a profession like in engineering, I mean, people have these challenges daily, these really difficult problems that they have to solve. And suddenly you just turn that off and your brain just turns to mush and it's terrible. And it's kind of like a prison. So, I'm begging everybody, before you get into retirement, make sure you've got stuff planned. The other thing is the camaraderie, just being at work. I mean, you have a lot of friends at work that you might think you'll be in touch with these friends forever and ever, but even in my case, I know I've lost touch with so many good friends that I had at work, coworkers. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of sad, actually. Partly my fault. But I mean, it's just you get busy even in retirement. I mean, it's hard to keep in touch with all your coworkers. And that goes away, and that leaves a little bit of a void too. So you have to kind of prepare for that also. And the way I would recommend you do that is you have a monthly lunch group. That's the best way to do it, if you can get that up with your coworkers. Before you retire, set up some sort of monthly lunch group, and that way you can stay in touch. It does help.
Having a front row seat led to my dad's retirement, I saw this. My dad retired at a young age. He was 30 and out from General Motors. And so he retired in his mid-50s. He'd worked there for 30-some years already because he started in his early 20s. And he immediately, because all the people his age were still working, Len, he immediately started hanging out with people 20 years older than him. My dad loves relationships, but we actually had to have an intervention because all of a sudden my dad started having all these aches and pains that his friends were having. And I'm not kidding, by the way. I mean, we're laughing, but I am not kidding. We had to say, Dad, you have to become more intentional about we love these guys, but man, were they so much older than him. And so they were in a different frame of mind. And my dad aged so quickly because of that. like I think, Len, those intentional relationships, hugely important.
Whenever I see those retiree groups, the old retiree groups, everybody's smiling. And you know why that is? It's because nobody can hear a word that they're saying.
Oh.
They're just shouting over each other. Wes, there's a piece of this that is pretty disturbing. Fritz says 28% of retarees are depressed because they don't think about this stuff enough. I think that probably, does that jive with your research?
That made me depressed when I read that.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Does that jive with your research?
So my suggestion on this is, and so a couple things. One, I was looking up in the book, I wanted to get my exact statistic on organized social groups. So number one, your core pursuits, those hobbies on steroids, and whether you have 4 or 12 or 20, I got a new one. Crystal, something she said earlier jogged something that I had forgotten to put down on here. So I'm up to 18 right now.
Ooh.
And I just keep track of these things when I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do that. You got to get better. Len, you used a little. Like, oh, I'm going to do a little of this. Like, I'm going to do a little of like, if you're going to put little in front of anything, any of these, they're not core pursuits. Mm-hmm. So they don't count. Mm-hmm. But this whole list, 75% of the list of my core pursuits or most core pursuits for happy retirees, there's a big social element to the core pursuit as well. It's easy to have core pursuits that are also group oriented. And the one takeaway that I would offer up that I've seen in my research that boosts happiness dramatically is that the belonging to one organized social group, and the only criteria I had on that was that they have to meet on average once a month. So to Len's point, it's lunch, but any sort of social group that is going to meet 12 times a year, there's a powerful garden effect that can cultivate more social activity because you're almost guaranteed to have this group interactivity every single month that then leads to more group activities.
Other stuff, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Well, yeah, and then for me, I'm one of the people that goes to work on my birthday because all my friends are there. Like all my coworkers I actually hang out with. So I would miss them like crazy. I didn't think about that. But yeah, I go to work to show off my outfits or to show off what outfit I made. We hang out
Doug
after
does the same
work.
thing here, Crystal. Shows up to show off his outfit.
These are the only days I get dressed.
It looks like you're at Niagara Falls.
It
like
does.
the yellow. It does. You guys have to see this.
It's like a rain slicker to you.
He does look like he's on the Weather Channel.
You know that Maid of the Mist?
No.
Have you ever been on that Maid of the Mist in the Niagara Falls?
No.
The
Never
boat that
been.
goes
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right
The boat. Yes.
I was on that boat, and I thought that captain was on a suicide mission. He was driving right. I thought we went so close to those falls, I thought I was going to die. It was the most scary thing I've ever experienced in my life. Not the most, but it was very scary.
All that story just because we thought Doug's wearing a raincoat. He does look like there's Curious George and who's the ranger, you know?
Man
Looks
in
like
the yellow hat?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, the man in the yellow hat.
that's
The
it.
man
He
in
does
the yellow
look like
hat.
the Gordon. Yes, like he's on the side of
Sorry,
a tuna
Doug.
can.
I didn't
yeah.
mean to start that. I didn't mean to. I was just.
Well, this has been lots of fun. This is an insulated, it's like a puffy jacket, but it's like a shirt.
It's cool. Is it from
It's a
LV?
wintertime thing. It's not
I know how I recognize you. You're Mrs. Paul's husband.
I'll take my clothes off right now. Look, don't tempt me.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got a fish stick for you, Joe.
Oh,
I got 2 of them.
Wow. I got some inspiration recently. We went to Houston and went to the Museum of Fine Art, which I'd recommend anybody. And I picked up this book called Art is the Highest Form of Hope, and I've been showing it off a lot lately. But it's these great quotes from artists that I find very inspirational. And one of the quotes in here, Crystal, is this one, which kind of alludes to what Fritz is talking about. And it is, I've been willing to pay any price to be able to work, is what this artist says. And it's funny because when you're an artist, I feel like that's kind of what we're retiring to, right? This work that now is an art. And I guess, Len, let's throw this to you. It sounds like this is kind of you. Like you got rid of the job so that you could go to work.
You know what? I think that's true. And again, this is the third time I've brought this up, my failed business. my failed business venture that I've worked so hard on for the first 6 months after my retirement. That's kind of an
Can
art.
you tell us a little bit more? You have brought it up many times. Can you please tell us what you failed at?
Yeah.
The problem
Pontiac
is the damn
repairman.
squirrels won't do their part of the job.
I will say this. It was a business based on homeowners associations. That's as far as I'll go because I'm not totally giving up on this yet. But let's just say the interest, after I did all this work, the interest they're not coming to me yet. So we'll see later on. But anyways, that in a way is art. I mean, it's just, I treated it is kind of like art. It's just something that I created. I'm proud of what I did, what I built. I'm sorry that so far nobody has bought into my business idea. But you know what? I had fun. Because I'm retired, it's no big deal. It's not like I needed that to live. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of more fun starting a business when you're retired because the failure doesn't affect my putting food on the table. You know what I'm saying? The stress isn't there. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it, even though it's going to be a failure probably. I really enjoyed it. And I'm anxious to try another idea. I really am. And it doesn't matter if I put in 60 hours a week in this next one and it fails. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to learn things and it's enjoyable. I enjoy it, failure or not.
I feel like, Wes, if you ask yourself that question, what would you be willing to pay any price to do? Then you're probably planning out the stuff right for retirement.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool quote. I'd be willing to pay any price to, what is it again?
Blank. To work.
To work. I guess I've always been fascinated with the Gallup polls on work satisfaction and work engagement. The latest work engagement study from Gallup was in North America and Canada. And they looked at, it was a global engagement study. And it's pretty high in the United States. Work engagement is 31%. So 31% of people, and again, you can interpret their categories in slightly different ways. But to me, that's an engaged person who really likes their work. That's their purpose. They love it. And then the other 69% of people are either quiet quitting, which means they don't like their job, but they don't hate it enough to just actively leave. And then there's a big chunk of people that are actively hating on their job. So more than 2/3 of America can't stand their work. And I'm always fascinated by that number. I think it's such a high number. But one, I think it's hard to find. It's really hard to find something that you truly love and you can make a living at it. And about 1/3 of people are able to do that. But for the other 2/3 of America, it's just a really hard thing to find. And it seems as though that's the reality of the world.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about finding your purpose while you're in the working world versus making stop signs or whatever it might be is a little bit, it's usually somebody else. I'm quoting somebody, I don't remember. Maybe it was Scott Galloway talking about how that's usually somebody who's really, really rich who's telling you that.
Yeah. It's like every graduation speaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every graduation speaker is like, do what you love.
Yes.
And the money will follow. Well, that's total BS. Like, it's just not going to happen. And the statistics show that more than 2/3 of people that just doesn't ever manifest for. So,
but in retirement, you can pursue that.
Yeah.
Number 5 on this list is you'll have an important job in retirement. Fritz ends this by saying, I hate to break it to you, but your, quote, working years don't end when you retire. Turns out you'll be working a lot in retirement, but it's not what you think. Because, you know, even when he's writing this, I'm sure he can hear the groans. What? Your retirement, quote, job is unlike anything you've ever done in your life. No resume required. No job interview will take place before you're hired. Be your own boss and you'll develop the requirements of the position. The job description cannot be written because the job you discover will be unique to you. Your first task is to learn to exercise a portion of your brain that's likely been dormant since you were a child. Learn to listen to your curiosity and have the courage to follow wherever it leads. Learn to play again like you did as a child. The play will be different this time. And he talks about he still rides bikes in the woods, but now he does it to stay healthy. It's about something bigger. It seems like, Crystal, like he takes this idea of job and turns it into this fascinating, fun-ass thing in retirement.
Well, because it's going to be your job to remain active, and healthy in retirement. And I want to say it's like your chance for your second act, because look at how many people started amazing companies at retirement age. The Colonel Sanders, we know who that guy is. He was 65 when he founded the 7 Herbs and Spices. So I think this is your second act, because look, there's a whole list. Who else? The lady who
Julia
wrote.
Child.
Yeah. Who's she again?
Who's Julia Child?
Oh, the cooking lady, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yes. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Nice job.
See, the lady who wrote Little House on the Prairie, she was in her 60s. There's 65. Yeah. So there's so many second act possibilities that you don't know what's coming. Home Depot, he was in his 50s.
Len, for people that are closing in on their retirement, not just from this piece, but what would you tell people to do that they maybe aren't focused in enough at?
Who are getting close to retirement?
Yes. What's something they're probably not doing, but you'd advise them to start doing?
Well, I guess I'm going to repeat myself. I think they're probably focusing too much on the money, and I think they're not focusing not enough on what they're going to do after they retire. I mean, if you've done this correctly, the money will, you've hit your number and you've planned out properly. That's, for the most part, should take care of itself. But like Crystal said, I mean, you have to know what you want to do. You have to have a plan. And the younger you are when you retire, the harder it's going to be, because it's just, you have more time to fill. Retirement takes work. It is work, but it's a work on your own terms, and it's things that you want to do. But you have to know what you want to do first. How do you fill the void? And there's a big void when you quit work. There's a void there that has to be filled.
Crystal, same question. What would you tell people to do that aren't there yet that they should be doing?
Talk to retired people, hang out with retired people, and get your plan. Like, start picking out, okay, I hate that. I love that. I hate that. I love that. Just so you can, hang out with the people, maybe consider where you want to live, but you don't know unless you start talking to people that are actually living it. So this was a great panel for me, because these are things that I would not have thought about. I was just thinking of,
because I'm hanging out with old people.
Don't get bid on at an auction. Blink every once in a while.
What's this Len Penzo worth?
Right. But yeah, I was just thinking of, yachts and vacation in paradise, not the actual day-to-day 9-to-5 part of retirement that I'm going to have to think about.
It's fabulous. Wes, you've got the last word, man. What should people be doing that they probably aren't?
So I would think of this as, I love the word cultivation when it comes to, I think it's fitting for both the financial and the lifestyle side, that we need to really continue to cultivate. It's not a plant and go away. It's a cultivate forever, like a garden. So I would think, and I think Fritz's words really do a good job of this. I thought it was a really fascinating topic today, but I would leave folks with this. Take the lifestyle side, even though it's supposed to be free and fun, that planning just as serious as the money planning.
That's a fantastic place to leave this. Let's find out what's happening where all you guys are, because talking about artists, every one of you are making some cool art in your own backyard. We'll start, Crystal, with you. We'll have our guest of honor go last. What's going on at the Stacky Deeds podcast, Crystal? As if I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You got to put up with me over there too.
Well, neighbor Doug said it looked like I had on an 80s wedding dress with my poofy sleeves and the white lace.
Oh, that's why she hammered you for your rain slicker.
I didn't. I agreed.
Payback
Just trying to give it back to Doug.
No. But please listen to us. We're chatting about all things real estate. We just had some very good episode that's coming up about notes. Like, did you know you can be it's almost like the creditor of real estate mortgages. So we talked to Scott Carson, and he was 70% of his people, they get to keep their homes instead of losing their homes. So we talk about a lot of different investing ideas that you would have never thought of. And
it was really fun talking to Scott about making money while doing some good. That was cool.
Yeah, he was doing good. And then I'm building some fourplexes in Chicago. So I talk about the fun working with the city on that, because they move at the speed of government. So, woo.
I was surprised you didn't do that for people watching the video. You didn't do air quotes. The fun.
Yes.
The city of Chicago puts the FU in fun. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't use it with him, Crystal.
No.
I probably. Mr. Penzo, what's going on at lenpenzo.com?
Well, the blog, it's a financial blog unlike any other. You get things there in my blog that you won't see anywhere else. I mean, it's really hard-hitting stuff. And this week, I have something that I know everybody's going to want to flock to. It's about Whirlpool tubs. One of the worst things I ever bought in my life was a Whirlpool tub for my house. And I want to save you folks the hassle of why you shouldn't buy it. So I could give you 14 reasons why Whirlpool tubs are for suckers. Don't buy them. I'm going to save you a lot of money. Don't make the same mistake I did. I'm telling you, this is the only place, lenpenzo.com is the only place you're going to see hard-hitting financial stuff like that.
It's the truth.
Is number one on that list a yeast infection?
No.
Make that 15.
15. I thought dreams were for suckers. So whirlpools are for suckers. That's a line from a movie, by the way. Dreams are for suckers.
Mr. Moss, thank you so much for hanging out with us to talk about dreams being for suckers and watching squirrels and bidding on Len Penzo and cake batter lotion.
Yeah, and that's just the start of it. Yeah, so what am I working on? A couple of things. One, we're in a new season of Retire Sooner podcast, and we just had a really cool guest, Mary Beth Franklin, who I think you guys probably know.
I love Mary Beth Franklin.
Breaking down Social Security in 2024. But really, the podcast, Retire Sooner podcast, is just about income investing for the happy retiree. That's what we're all about. We've been doing it for a lot of years. And I just started writing, I just started contributing to Forbes.com. So I just wrote an article on the army of American productivity, which is the cornerstone of my investing belief. And that's at Forbes.com.
Wes, you could write about how productivity is for suckers, like 14 reasons.
15.
Hey, I had that on my list, so don't go ahead. I had that on my list.
Awesome. We'll link to the Retire Sooner podcast on our show notes. Actually, if you just pause and go follow them wherever you're listening to us and try out a couple episodes, I think you'll find, like I do, that I really, really enjoy hanging out with Mr. Moss. And we'll link to, of course, Stacking Deeds and the amazing lenpenzo.com exposition, breaking news on whirlpools.
That's so good.
Doug, take it from here, man. What should be on our to-do list today based on this conversation?
Well, here's what's stacked up on our to-do list today. First, take some advice from Wes Moss. The average happy retiree has between 3 and 4 hobbies that are on steroids. Those are things that are core to who they are. Figure out what it is that you absolutely need to do in order to feel fulfilled. Then, with the rest of your time, you're just sitting on the couch eating donuts, guilt-free. Second, don't forget what Len said. Make sure you are intentional about building friend groups. Be sure to meet with them on a regular basis, and don't forget to bring your hearing aids when you head down to the group dinner at 3 in the afternoon.
It's true.
But what's the biggest to do? Before you buy land in the middle of nowhere, look how much it's going to cost to add plumbing and electric. Wow! Never saw that coming. Thanks to Wes Moss for joining us today. You can find Wes's podcast, Retire Sooner, wherever you're listening to us right now. We'll also include links in our show notes at stackingbenjamins.com. Thanks to Crystal Hammond for joining us today. You can find her co-hosting our sister show, Stacking Deeds, with me and some guy named Joe who keeps showing up. And thanks to Len Penzo for joining us today. You can find Len at lenpenzo.com/walkingantique. This show is the property of SB Podcasts, LLC, copyright 2024, and is created by Joe Salsihai. Our producer is Karen Repine. This show is written by Lisa Curry, who's also the host of the Long Story Long podcast, with help from me, Joe, Kate Younkin, Karen Repine, and Doc G from the Earn and Invest podcast. Kevin Bailey helps us take a deeper dive into all the topics covered on each episode in our newsletter called The 201. You'll find the 411 on all things money at the 201. Just visit stackingbenjamins.com/201. Wonder how beautiful we all are? Of course you do, but you'll never know if you don't check out our YouTube version of the show, engineered by Tina Eichenberg. Then you'll see once and for all that I'm the best thing going for this podcast. Once we bottle up all this goodness, we ship it to our engineer, the amazing Steve Stewart. Steve helps the rest of our team sound nearly as good as I do right now. Want to chat with friends about the show later? Mom's friend Gertrude, Stacy Doe, and Julia Garib are our social media coordinators, and Gertrude is the room mother in our Facebook group called The Basement. So say hello when you see us posting online. To join all the basement fun with other stackers, type stackingbenjamins.com/basement. For more interactive fun, join us on Instagram every Tuesday and Thursday for our Instagram Lives. Kate Younkin and Joe host those weekly. Not only should you not take advice from these nerds, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, speak with a real financial advisor. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we'll see you next time back here at the Stacking Benjamin Show.